Over the last 8 days, we were working with the Swanee River Water Management District to be shown all of the different jobs and responsibilities that take place there. On the first day, we learned about the history of the district and how office operations were carried out. Some of our favorite parts were
touring the district's water management building,
learning about the history of the district,
the records room,
GIS training,
and getting to see the IT room. And we'd like to thank everyone at the office and Mr. Dickens for showing us around.
On day 2, we met Lewis at Otter Springs. He introduced us to his division's responsibilities to the citizens of our district. In development of minimum flows and levels, he demonstrated how to tell the species of plants and the instruments he used to find the water levels. He also taught us about the aquatic biology and basic surveying. We especially enjoyed
walking the trails at Otter Springs,
catching critters,
being able to identify the different plants,
and probing the ground for soil errors. I'd like to thank Mr. Lewis for a very fun and informative afternoon.
On day 3, we learned about retention ponds and their purpose. We traveled to the Klausner construction site where a sawmill is being built. We were able to tour the site and learn about what would happen at the mill. After visiting the Klausner site, we visited the Lake City bypass and looked at a retention pond and a bridge that was being constructed. Some of our favorite parts were
touring the construction sites,
no risk, no fun,
riding around the Klausner site,
identifying the different ponds and swales,
and visiting the bypass. We'd like to thank Mr. Leroy and Miss Alejandra for this opportunity.
On day 4, we were able to see the technical parts of land management. We looked at how specific trees are chosen for logging, and we also learned about the benefits of prescribed fires. Some interesting parts of the day include
learning about invasive species,
seeing the effects of prescribed burning, measuring the heights of the trees,
getting to see how water management affects recreation,
and seeing a moccasin. We'd like to thank Mr. Edwin, Scott, Tyler, and Bill for showing us around.
On day 5, we spent the day with Kevin and Sarah. They took us to Dasher Farms, Belly Farms, and Shenandoah Dairy to see how it all operated. We especially enjoyed
visiting the greenhouses,
watching and interacting with cows in the Shenandoah Dairy,
baby cows,
seeing how produce is processed and taken care of,
and seeing how the dairies operate. We would like to thank Kevin and Sarah for taking the time to show us all the farms.
On day 6, we met up with Tara and Mr. Henry to check. We visited wells and various springs to see how they were flowing. The highlights of the day were
measuring the water in the wells,
visiting historic sites,
touring the springs,
programming the rain gauge,
and installing the rain gauge. We'd like to thank Miss Tara and Mr. Henry for a very fun afternoon. On day 7, we met with Darlene and Mark at Poe Springs to learn about soil and water quality. We used some of their equipment to test the quality of the Santa Fe River compared to Poe Springs. We really enjoyed
testing the water quality,
catching bugs in the spring,
swimming,
learning about the ecology of the area,
and the edible aquifers. We would like to thank Darlene and Mark for giving us the opportunity to use their equipment and learn more about water quality.
As a conclusion, we'd like to thank
the Swanee River Water Management District,
Dave Dickens for coordinating this trip, Dr. Shortell,
and Ryan and Paige for being awesome teachers and putting up with us for these last 2 weeks.
and STEM.
Thank you.